sat that little montage in the beginning, I appreciate that because I did that on purpose. I talk about gear on this channel all the time, but there are 3 or 4 things that are really, really important in photography, and they have absolutely nothing to do with gear at all whatsoever. In this particular video, I want to talk about time and location. For me personally, and I think this is the case for most people, where people become more gear obsessed or they don't have time to go create the work they want to do. It's because of time. It's the biggest robber. It's the most valuable asset in life. Let's put it that way. And what you do at that time is critically important. You have to use that time with family and friends, focusing on things that you're going to enjoy doing, also things that are going to help you achieve your goals. For me, every day throughout the week, I get up, my wife works, she's out of the house by 7:30, 7:45, and next week, starting in the beginning of September, my kids are back to school. And getting them ready for school is what we do. But as soon as they get ready for school and they're out the door, then it's time for me to work. And the only time I had a chance to make this video this morning is because I had an hour and a half of no meetings this morning, which I should have been using to get ready for some stuff I have later today. And my older teenage daughter's home to watch my kids who are still off on summer break. So typically that time doesn't exist. But by the time I got out there, because I live in Michigan, which is the northern part, obviously, of the United States, the sun comes up real early and it sets real late, at least in the summer. The opposite happens as we get to winter, obviously. But even then, when my kids are up, I got to get them breakfast. I got them dressed, brush their teeth, comb their hair. They relax for a little bit, all that kind of stuff. And then my meetings start. Then throughout my day, I have all the different planning I have to do for the hockey team. So we have a game today at 6 o'clock. We had a practice yesterday at 5:15. We got a practice tomorrow at 5:45. I don't have time. And time is a very valuable asset. Not to make excuses. So one of the things people like myself do is turn gear into a hobby. But I've said this in prior videos some time ago, if you've watched this channel long enough. When I'm the happiest, and when I realize I don't need all the crap I need, it's when I am just shooting. And it typically happens when I go on vacation or something like that. You go into the vacation, think you need everything, you come back and you realize I could have used just one camera, one lens, and portability was most important. Again, it could be any camera, not just the X100VI. The other is location. The reason why I showed you some of those clips in the beginning is because I live in suburbia, Michigan. And Michigan is a beautiful state, but in the part of the state that I live in, it's a very flat area. And it's an area that was old farm country that they're now developing into homes, and it's suburban sprawl. I'm not saying there's not beautiful things in the area and you can't find things to shoot, but with the limited amount of time I have, to be able to walk out my front door and take pictures is a luxury that I just do not have. If I wanted to take pictures of anything even remotely close to me that are going to be interesting, I would have to maybe get into wildlife, or if I wanted to do landscape, I'd have to get up early in the mornings because the sun comes up early, and I have to go to some of the lakes that are nearby here. But then that leaves my wife at home by herself, getting the kids ready without my support. Back to that time thing again. On top of that, if I wanted to go somewhere really interesting in Michigan, just with drivable distance, I have to drive maybe from here, this is the Michigan thing, up to here, or to the Upper Peninsula. That's 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. It's not something I have the luxury of doing. So location is super important, and I see videos on the YouTubes all the time of people that are in like Portland or in Denver or in Banff National Park, and they or in Europe, and they're by like Lofoten or what. They're in these beautiful areas, Iceland, and I'm like, man, that'd be so cool to have the ability to go out and do that. So for me, location is a big problem. I'm looking at empty fields, construction. It's just, so you have to make that maybe what you shoot. But my point is that after all that, I have to come back into my office, which is why I ended that little montage with me walking back in my office, and I have to get to work because I have a family to pay for, house to pay for. And that's why I say time and location, subject matter, are the 2 most important assets that are taken for granted in photography. It doesn't matter what camera you have, what lens you have, what filters you have, what microphones you have, none of that. None of it matters if you don't have time and a subject / location to go shoot. And so I just wanted to get that out there because I talk a lot about gear in this channel because gear is easy. It's easy for me to grab a lens and say, hey, this lens is great. Look how sharp it is. Look how awesome it is. That's easy. It's low-hanging fruit type stuff. But to actually go out and make art and document something requires time, location, subject. And that's the most important asset in photography. And I wanted to get that out there because none of this stuff actually matters. I mean, you have to have the right tools to do a certain job. Like I'm not going to go do wildlife and nature photography with an X100. But once you have the basics, time and location, subject matter is the most important thing. And so that's going to be the teaser to my next video, which is going to be about purpose. I think that's kind of what helps with the time and location part. We'll talk about that in the next video. Just want to get that out there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, I hate to ask for it, but you guys can give it a thumbs up and like it, because I realize there's a core group of you that watches my videos all the time. You comment. And unless I put gear in the channel title or the video title, it doesn't really expand. So anything to help the algorithm would be cool. I shouldn't even ask for that. I don't even care. Let's be honest. Time and location, guys. Find time, find a location or a subject. And the third thing is purpose.